Okay, so going off of my last video, well, let's talk about pattern recognition. So in my last video, I point out how there's this very predictable pattern going on new tech and alt tech platforms, including these new tech alt tech platforms present the same pattern that big tech platforms do, which present the same pattern as mainstream media does. It's all the same. Pattern recognition. Have you recognized the term pattern recognition? Well, if you do, you know why you recognize that term, pattern recognition? Because that's what all these big channels claim that they're good at, pattern recognition. That's why their channels are so popular and big, is because they're so good at pattern recognition, right? And so they're looking for patterns, they discover patterns, and then they do videos on it. The Corbett Report is doing a video, and what is it called? And the Corbett Report is not an isolated incident. This is just used as an example. They all do the same thing. They have these highly advanced skill in pattern recognition, right? Well, if in reference to my previous video that's publishing right now, that's an obvious pattern that even a 5th grade level intelligence could see. The pattern is that it's the same story, and it has been up till today, and it's going to be the same story tomorrow, next month, next year, and 2 years from now, on and on. It's all the same. Covidiodrome, Zionism, jabs, political intrigue and scandal, Hollywood scandal and intrigue, jabs, Illuminati, Freemasonry. It's always the same fucking thing. I mean, this is pattern recognition that someone with below a 5th grade level education can plainly see. So then, but you don't see any of these channels like Corbett Report or any of these other big ones pointing this pattern out. Like, it's always the same story. And you know why? Because then they're going to be exposing themselves. They're going to be showing their own ass to their own audience. And their audience is going to say, hey, wait a second. You're doing the same thing. All of you guys do the same thing. It's almost like you all work in concert for the propagandist machine. But see, they all wear the anti-establishment badges, therefore they must not be. It must not be, because they all wear the anti-establishment badge. I mean, this is like deep shit, dude. This is like unbelievable. And people, it's like that saying where it says, it's easier to fool someone than it is to convince them they're being fooled. So nobody's going to hear me when I'm telling them, dude, all these alt tech platforms, big channels, you're being fooled by all of them. Every last one of them. And there are no other channels. All there are the big BitChute channels and the big YouTube. There are no small ones. There just aren't. The small ones, you don't even know they exist, because all you do is pay attention to all the big ones. And it's all by design. They have this all set up, so all you see are the big channels. Even on BitChute, even on the smallest platform, even on the smallest, most so-called uncensored platform, it's all the same. And they all say the same thing: Covidiodrome, jabs, Zionism, Freemasonry, Illuminati, political scandal, Hollywood scandal. And so their audience is expected to believe there's nothing else going on, because this has been the same story for over a decade. It's always the same story. And so when we're talking about pattern recognition, like, you don't see, I mean, again, a 5th grade level intelligence can see the pattern here. And And so there's nothing else going on. There's nothing that could be as important as these the alleged importance of this same old story that's been run year after year after year after year. There couldn't be anything that could be as important as the alleged importance of this same old COVIDiodrome, jab, Zionist, Freemasonry, Illuminati, political scandal and intrigue, Hollywood scandal and intrigue story. There couldn't be anything that could be as important as the alleged importance of this same old fucking story that's been going on forever. You know, you want to talk about pattern recognition. I mean, talk about it, a joke, you know. So I did a video a few days ago called Success, where this guy, and this is like fucking mid-50s old school shit, black and white, and this guy is pointing this out. He's like, look at what everyone else is doing. If you want to succeed, if you want to achieve true success, not the success that we're all conditioned all of our lives to believe, but true success, if you want to achieve true success, look at what everyone is doing. First, look at everyone is doing. And then don't do what they're doing. Do something different. Okay? So let's look at just the first half. Let's consider what this person is proposing. And what he's proposing is based on the same thing that Barnes is saying when he says everyone is controlled through fashion and trends. So everyone is controlled through fashion and trends. So look at what everyone's doing. Well, they're all following fashion and trends. And then once you see all this, then you know which way to go, which is a different direction. So yeah, so like if you really break that down, first look at what everyone is doing. So it's all right in front of you, plain as day. It's been going on this whole time. What is everyone doing? Talking about COVIDiodrome and jabs and Zionism and Freemasonry and Illuminati and a political scandal and political intrigue and Hollywood scandal and Hollywood intrigue and that's it. Non-stop, 24/7, every day, all day. It's so predictable. That's what's going to be talked about tomorrow and the next day and next year. It's always the same. So first you have to look at what everyone's doing. But then you don't do that. Don't do that. Stop supporting this because there is something else going on. There is a bunch of stuff that is easily as important as the alleged importance of this non-stop 24/7 tabloid headline of COVIDiodrome, jabs, Freemasonry, Zionism, Illuminati, political intrigue, political scandal, Hollywood intrigue, Hollywood scandal. There is everything else is they're just using all of that to suck all of you in under the banner of trutherism. They're the truthers. They're the pattern recognition truthers. I mean, when you look into the practice of investigation, there's a line that says, there's a lot, as far as investigation, because that's what all this is about, investigating the COVIDiodrome, investigating the jabs, investigating political intrigue, investigating Zionism, investigating Freemasonry. Well, if you're on all this investigation, there's a tactic that, see, because there's people that's their profession, is investigation. And so they're far more advanced in investigating than your typical truther on the internet. And one of the secrets and tricks to investigation is when looking at evidence is the absence of evidence. You don't ignore the absence of evidence. The absence of evidence is just as important as whatever evidence or supposed evidence is presented. The absence of evidence is just as important. So that's why there's a saying that says, the absence of evidence is evidence of absence. The absence of evidence is evidence of absence. And like, I mean, and you can apply that like across the board. Like, you hear a story, but there's no evidence to support it. And you'll hear the same story all day, every day, over and over, on and on, almost like it's propaganda, saying the same thing over and over again so that you'll eventually just believe it. The absence of evidence is evidence of absence. This can be applied in so many different ways. If you're into investigating Freemasonry and investigating Zionism and investigating Covidiodrome and investigating political scandal and investigating Hollywood scandal and all this, whatever, the absence of evidence is evidence of absence. So there's all these stories that are absent because all we hear is Covidiodrome, jab, Zionism, Illuminati, Freemasonry, political scandal and intrigue, Hollywood scandal and intrigue. So they're pushing all this in your face when there's all this other stuff going on. And then a lot of times these stories, there's an absence of evidence. Like, everybody's dropping like flies from the whatever, from this or that. Well, I hear this story, but when I go out into the real world, I've been hearing this story like everyone's dropping like flies everywhere. That's like one of the most popular stories that we've heard for the last 4 or 5 years, and we're going to hear all day today, and it's going to continue all throughout the following year. Meanwhile, in our own just lives, our humble lives, because we're not internet superstars or anything, all day long we're living and walking around, we're not seeing people dropping like flies like anywhere at all. Covidiodrome, jab, Zionism, Freemasonry, Illuminati, political intrigue and scandal, Hollywood intrigue and scandal. Well, are you a politician? There's all this political intrigue and scandal. Well, are you a politician? Do you know any of these politicians? No. Well, then why would you even give a fuck? It's like, who cares? Okay, well, we can remove that one from the big story that everybody needs to know. Extra, read all about it. All right, well, what about Hollywood scandal and intrigue and scandal? Are you a Hollyweirdo? Do you know any of these people? No? Yeah, exactly. So that's just no point. It's meaningless bullshit. It's just bullshit they're using to distract you from what's really going on. For example, take a walk outside. Go walk around. Go walk around. Take a couple miles walk. You see people dropping like flies everywhere from Covidiodrome. Jab. No. Oh, okay. Well, then that's bullshit. Like, so what? Then why do they keep running these stories 24/7 all day, every day on these alt tech platforms when in real life? So none of this even applies to you or me. Political scandal, who cares? Intrigue, who fucking cares? Hollywood scandal, like, who fucking cares? Nobody. How does it apply to me and you? I don't know any Hollywood people. I don't know any politicians. I'm not a politician. I'm not a Hollywood. So all that shit's garbage. You know, everybody's dropping like flies. Well, empirical evidence, all I have to do is go take a couple of miles walk, and empirical evidence will tell me otherwise. So what is even the point of these stories? They're bullshit. It's all bullshit. Freemasons. Like, I've never met a Freemason. I've never seen one. If I have, I didn't know it. You know, Zionism. Look, it goes back to the thing. Look at what everybody's doing. Because whether you believe it or not, everyone is controlled through fashion and trends. That's the number one tool they have, besides, well, one of the main tools they have to control everybody is fashion and trends. Extra, read all about it. Covidiodrome, Zionism, jab, Hollywood, politics, UFOs, secret societies. Can't be anything else going on. No. Meanwhile, you're paying fucking $8 for a little tiny ass fucking hamburger, and they're trying to talk to you about Covideodrome, jab, 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 Zionist, favorite Freemason, Illuminati. But you're paying $7.50 for a little tiny fucking mini hamburger. Lie by omission. Lie by omission. Don't talk about XYZ. Only talk about Covideodrome, jab, 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 Freemason, Illuminati, Zionism. Hollywood, politicians, Hollywood. It's all lie by omission. It's all, the whole thing is one big massive lie, and that's all we've heard. Just since 2018 up till now, that's all it is. All over BitChute, all over Rumble, all over Odyssey. There ain't anybody that tries to talk about anything other than these tabloid headlines that have been the same thing for the last 10 years. They get completely ignored and or dogpiled out of the discussion because all anyone wants to talk about is Covideodrome, jab, Covideodrome, jab, Zionism, Illuminati, Freemasons, political intrigue, political scandal, politicians, Hollywood scandal, Hollywood intrigue. Meanwhile, what's going on in real life? Oh, nothing. You're just paying $12 for a little hamburger. But we don't have time to talk about that because it's a massive genocide. People are dropping like flies everywhere. Again, look at what everybody's doing. Look at what all these people are doing. What is the big sexy thing to always talk about and all this shit? Look at what it is. It's nothing but pure garbage. It's no different than MSM. It's all the same shit. It's all garbage. So look at what they're all doing, and if you really want to achieve true success, not what we've been brainwashed to believe what success is, like being a Hollyweirdo, being a politician, being an internet influencer, this is all bullshit. They're brainwashing us to think that is success. So look at all this bullshit, and then don't do it. Don't do that. Do something outside of the box, because that's all that is a box. This 24/7 nonstop Covideodrome, jab, Zionism, Freemasonry, Illuminati, political intrigue and scandal, Hollywood intrigue and scandal. It's all designed to keep you in a box. So that's all you talk about. And then whenever somebody talks about like that little hamburgers are now $12, you're like, dude, I don't have time. Don't you know we're in the middle of a genocide right now and you're trying to complain to me about the cost of a hamburger? It is pure madness. And, it reminds me of this a line in a song that says, a fool offers up reason. The wise don't even try. You can't offer up reason to all these people that are drinking this Jim Jones Kool-Aid and buying this Pepsi, Coke, non-stop. Like everything is Covideodrome and jabs and Zionism and Freemasonry and Illuminati and political scandal and intrigue and Hollywood scandal and intrigue. That's all it is. That's all everything is about. Where is and here's another thing. We're going to talk about pattern connection. What do all these things have in common? Like Covideodrome and jabs, big money. Freemasonry, big money. Illuminati, big money. Zionism, big money. All this stuff, it's all big, it's all big money. They keep telling you follow the money. That's a half truth. That's lie by omission. They keep telling you follow the evidence. Because they don't want you to understand that the absence of evidence is evidence. They keep telling you, just follow the evidence. Don't mind the absence of evidence. Don't look at the absence of evidence. Only look at all this evidence we're showing you about Covideodrome and jabs and Freemasonry and Zionism. Look at all this evidence I'm showing you. They're distracting you from the importance of observing the absence of evidence. Because the absence of evidence is evidence. And they don't want you to know this. This is sleight of hand trick that they've been using for thousands of years. The absence of evidence is evidence of absence. Why are they not talking about XYZ? Well, because don't you know we're in the middle of a genocide? Jab, 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 co-videodrome, jab, 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 co-videodrome. Well, what about XYZ? What do you mean XYZ? We're in the middle of a fucking genocide and you're talking about XYZ? Fuck XYZ. Kick that shit down the road. Kick that can down the road. That's all we've ever done anyways is kick XYZ can down the road forever. Since before you were born, all they've done is kick the XYZ can down the road. Why? Well, because Hollywood intrigue, Hollywood controversy, political intrigue, political scandal, Zionism, Freemasonry. These are all the reasons that they use to continue to kick the can of XYZ down the road. And what are the kick the can down the XYZ things? Well, the cost of a hamburger this size is now $24. And you're complaining? Why are you complaining? Where are you? A lazy, you're just a lazy. You get a job complaining about the cost of a tiny hamburger is $24. We're talking about genocide. You know, this is the madness that is everywhere. Like you go on the BitChute and all these, they're just pure liars. Everything is just massive walls of fucking lies that are, I mean, it's beyond mainstream media. Mainstream media is just there as controlled opposition to push all this technological reporting going on the awesome, you know, it's all just such fucking bullshit, dude. All these same fucking tired out, fucking retarded bullshit story. Jab, 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 jab. Co-videodrome. 24/7 co-videodrome since 2018 is like the perfect excuse to kick the can of XYZ down the road, which they've been kicking that can down the road before you were even born. And they've always got some big story as an excuse to kick it down, to keep kicking that can. Co-videodrome, everybody's dropping like flies. Jabs, everybody's dropping like flies. Zionism, everybody's just dropping like flies. Freemasonry, they're all dropped. Everybody's dropping like flies. Hollywood scandal, they're all being trafficked, sex trafficked. Hollywood scandals. The absence of evidence is evidence of absence. Like, nobody's talking about XYZ. That's absence of evidence. So why are they not talking about XYZ? Well, they're telling you it's because there's a genocide and everyone's dropping like flies from co-videodrome and jabs and but you can walk down the street all day. Spend all day, walk for miles and miles. I guarantee you, you will not see one motherfucker dropping like a fly. But it doesn't matter because that's the headline all day today is everybody's dropping like flies. That's going to be the headline tomorrow. Everybody's dropping like flies. That's going to be the headline next year. Everybody's dropping like flies. Why? Because of the Zionists. Why? Because of the Freemasons. Why? Because of the Illuminati. Meanwhile, the cost of your hamburger is now $74 instead of $24. But they're not talking. That's still XYZ kick the can. That ain't important because Zionism, Illuminati. Everything else is going on except for what's not going on. The absence of evidence is evidence of absence. Snowden tried to point this out. I watched it in a video. I'm not a fan at all of Snowden. I really could give a fuck less. But I don't know the guy. Maybe he's legit, maybe he's not. But I heard him speak the truth. And that's what he said. He said there's all this massive conspiracy going on right in front of our eyes all day, every day. And nobody's talking about any of it. What are they talking about? Co-videodrome, jab, 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 Zionism, Illuminati, Freemasonry, Hollywood scandal, political scandal, intrigue. That's why they're talking about all this shit. Meanwhile, all these real things are going on. Nobody's talking about them at all. And the only time they are is like mainstream media. And it's all just out of mock and jest because they know the masses are so stupid. All they're going to keep listening to is how everybody's dropping like flies and Zionism and stuff. It's pure insanity. Look at what everybody's doing. Observe what everybody's doing so that you can know what to not do. And then don't do what they're doing. Do something completely different.